Right now at 6, firefighters remain on scene after a fire destroys a recycling complex in Arkansas.
And temperatures, another chilly start out there this morning. It will be warmer. It will still be windy. Details coming up.
Plus, community members gather to identify historic building in Joplin's North Heights neighborhood.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Friday, October the 18th.
Yes, it is. It feels like Friday.
And I tell you what, it's definitely been Friday. So what you don't know is we've been continuing the Taylor Swift references. We just decided not to keep them going here. Now look what you made me do.
Oh, I knew you were trouble. I've known for a while.
Man. Well, you know,
Believe me.
Friday nights, you know, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
Okay.
Every time we're going to... Oh man, it's Friday. This is where the show kind of partially derails, but we're still on a track. I think it veered off to a dead end is what's happened here. Our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are clear. Again, it is chilly out there. We've got clear skies from our camera at 7th and Range Line. So we'll head down south to the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line. And wouldn't you know it, the skies are clear down here as well, and roads, at least for the time being, except for this guy here, are relatively clear. And the KDOT camera, 69 East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. It is another great look outside on what's going to be a really nice but another very breezy day out there for us. As we head into the morning hours, just like yesterday, winds will really start to ramp up out there. We're going to have those gusts again. It's a crudely drawn line, but you get the idea. Roughly here in northwest, we're talking winds 30, 40 miles an hour out of the south, or at least those gusts. And then if you're southeast of that point, winds like yesterday, gusting 20, 30 miles an hour. At this point, again, we don't have any red flag warnings out there, but that doesn't suddenly mean it's okay to burn. You still can't do it. No outdoor burning, anything like that. As we head through the day, though, we're looking pretty good, and it won't be until later this evening into the overnight, and we could see a few clouds here or there. Again, a bit cool out there this morning, 42 in Joplin, 43 in Pittsburgh right now. And as we look at temperatures across the area, and again, in a rare twist, it is colder down south. 36 is the cold spot in Miami right now, some upper 30s in our southern counties. And then outside of that, we've got a range of 40s, low, mid, and upper. Kids get on the bus. Another jacket will probably be necessary, but one they can maybe stuff into their backpack because they won't need it this afternoon. Mid-40s, clear skies, south winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. That bus coming back, low 70s, breezy, but otherwise sunny and pretty pleasant. In fact, most of us looking highs right about normal as we fall into the low 70s today. Some upper 60s will still be possible out there, and otherwise, again, sunny and breezy. It's going to continue to warm up as we head into the weekend, and we've got some rain chances, some kind of rain, as we head into next week. Details on all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, some Oklahomans are suing to prevent mandating Bibles in schools. More than 30 Oklahomans have been named as plaintiffs in a lawsuit against the Oklahoma superintendent regarding his order to have the Bible as required material in every Oklahoma public school classroom. Well, the suit was filed yesterday in the Oklahoma Supreme Court. Last month, Superintendent Ryan Walters announced that $3 million in state funds would be used to purchase and supply 55,000 Bibles to Oklahoma schools. The plaintiffs are seeking a judgment stating that the Bible education mandate is invalid and unenforceable. The plaintiffs in the case include Oklahoma spiritual leaders, parents, and teachers. Well, in response to the lawsuit, Walters stated on social media in part, quote, "It is not possible for our students to understand the American history and culture without understanding the biblical principles from which they came. I will never back down to the woke mob, no matter what tactic they try to use to intimidate Oklahomans," end quote. You can see more of Walters' response and see the full petition and lawsuit on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Police arrested juvenile suspected of a hoax terroristic threat in Neosho, Missouri. Wednesday, Neosho police responded to the junior high to investigate a report of a terroristic threat. Now, detectives learned that 2 boys had taken a photo of BB guns that was later edited and posted on social media by a 12-year-old girl. Police say the photo indicated that a school shooting was to take place Wednesday. Detectives determined that it was a hoax and no real threat existed. Authorities went on to say if this had been from an adult, multiple charges would have been filed, including making a terroristic threat first degree, which is a Class D felony, which carries up to 7 years in prison. Well, fire crews in Rogers, Arkansas continue to monitor fire at what remains of a recycling business 24 hours after it began. Now, the fire swept through the Mark Industries Incorporated, a recycling center in the 3500 block of North Arkansas Street. Before sundown Wednesday night, the plume of fire could be seen from Neosho, Missouri, nearly 40 miles away. At the height of the effort, nearly 20 crews responded, though the fire was contained to the property from the beginning. Now, while most of the crews have left the scene, Rogers Fire remains to monitor the area for flare-ups and air quality. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, city officials and the Joplin Historic Preservation Commission members met last night to discuss plans to survey Joplin's North Heights neighborhood. The goal to identify the area's historic buildings and sites and to make sure they are preserved. Over a 3-year period, inspectors will visit homes and structures to see if they fit the criteria.
Ultimately, the goal is to have the information needed from a preservationist point of view to nominate a National Register district to National Historic Register.
According to the Joplin Historic Preservation Commission, preservation has proven to be a major contributor to tourism and economic development. Many historic districts have stabilized and some even increased property values as well. Yesterday morning, Carl Junction schools participated in International Shakeout Day. Now, Shakeout Day aims to bring awareness to earthquake safety through drills at schools, work, or at homes internationally. When instructions were given to students over the intercom, students went under their desks to practice what they would do if there was a real earthquake.
Education is super important. Any academic procedures we put in place are important, but the number one job for us as a building is to ensure that when the parents drop their kids off, that their students are safe.
Millions of people across the country participated in International Shakeout Day at 10:17 yesterday morning. Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Meta fires 24 employees across various platforms for using meal credits for non-food items. Plus, both presidential candidates turn their focus to the crucial swing state of Michigan. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Friday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Oswego, Kansas, ahead of the Oswego Fall Bazaar. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, the scheduled execution of Texas death row inmate Robert Robson has been suspended at the last hour. Now, the Texas State Supreme Court issued a partial stay last night, with just over 90 minutes before Robson was scheduled to be put to death. A Travis County judge granted a temporary restraining order requested by a Texas House committee. A spokesperson for the Texas Department of Corrections confirmed Thursday night that it will not move forward with the execution until the order is cleared in the courts. The Court of Appeals responded by clearing the way for the execution, but now the Texas State Supreme Court has issued a partial stay. Texas State Representative Lacey Hull says Robertson will not be executed as originally scheduled. Robertson claims he was wrongfully convicted of abusing and killing his 2-year-old daughter through shaken baby syndrome. Well, Facebook parent company Meta has fired 24 employees from its LA office for misusing company meal credits. A source close to the situation says the funds were instead used for such items as laundry detergent, wine glasses, and skincare treatments. At Meta's larger offices, employees get free food at company food courts, but staff at the company's smaller offices get meal vouchers instead, worth $20 for breakfast, $25 for lunch and dinner, to have food delivered while they work in the office. Now, according to an internal investigation, some staff members were having meals delivered to their homes and using the vouchers for non-food items instead, in violation of policy. Well, today, Battleground Michigan is the focus for both presidential candidates as they stomp through the crucial swing state. Now, yesterday, the two traded insults. Former President Donald Trump did so at an annual Catholic charity dinner in New York, where presidential candidates traditionally roast each other lightheartedly. Vice President Kamala Harris skipped the event, but did submit a video, instead delivering her attacks while campaigning in Wisconsin. Jared Hill has more from New York.
Trading the campaign trail for a charity roast.
Really a pleasure anywhere in New York without a subpoena for my appearance.
Former President Donald Trump took swipes at himself Thursday night, while also taking aim at Vice President Kamala Harris during the white tie dinner for Catholic charities. A tradition for presidential candidates, but the vice president opted not to attend.
My opponent feels like she does not have to be here, which is deeply disrespectful.
Harris instead sent this video with actress Molly Shannon as her classic Catholic schoolgirl character.
Is there anything that you think that maybe I shouldn't bring up tonight?
Well, don't lie. Thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbor.
Indeed, especially thy neighbor's election results.
At a stop in Wisconsin, Harris tossed a few barbs at Trump, mocking his statement that he's the father of IVF.
What does that even mean? He has no idea what he's talking about. When it comes to the health care of women in America.
Earlier, Trump visited a barbershop in the Bronx while his running mate, J.D. Vance, campaigned in Pennsylvania.
We're going to make Donald Trump the next president of the United States, and it starts right here, my friends.
Harris's VP pick, Tim Walz, joined former President Bill Clinton in North Carolina.
This is what it looks like to be unified.
As early voting got off to a strong start in the Tar Heel state. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Now, this weekend, former President Trump heads back to Pennsylvania to campaign, while Vice President Kamala Harris will travel to Georgia. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a chilly start out there. Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear, but look off to the west. There's some clouds, and we'll see some of those as we head through the evening and overnight hours. No rain yet, but rain is on the horizon. Another look at your forecast in just a few more minutes on the KOAM Morning News.
Well, Japanese toy maker Mega House is rolling out its Rubik's Cube to small, so you need tweezers to play it. And if you're interested in buying one, be prepared to pay big, $5,000 to be exact. And Echo Montgomery has more from Tokyo.
This is what it takes to solve the world's smallest Rubik's Cube. You'll need a lot of patience and a pair of tweezers.
It's about the size of a few grains of rice, with each side measuring just 5 millimeters. But yes, it actually works.
It's made with such delicate parts that if you shake it roughly like you would with a normal Rubik's Cube, there's a possibility that parts might come off.
The world's smallest Rubik's Cube was designed by Japanese toy maker Mega House. Made of aluminum, it's about 1,000 times smaller than the classic version.
I wanted to show the world the beauty of Japanese miniatures, the technology that is packed into these small things. But assembling them is the trickiest part because it has to be rotatable. If you make it too tight with no gaps, it won't move. So you need a minimum amount of space.
You need a lot of concentration to do this. Okay, then the good eyes.
At over $5,000, this tiny cube is more of a collector's item, with deliveries rolling out from April.
I can't even figure out a regular Rubik's Cube. Imagine doing that. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, I think I'd have to pass on that one, but it is neat though. And like they said, it's more of a collector's item. Well, our seasonable temperatures in this cool weather also apparently a collector's item as we're looking to warm back up next week. We'll have details on that and those rain chances when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6:21 now on this Friday morning. We're going to start with the future track, which again doesn't have a lot to show us over the next couple of days and into the weekend, but it will show us these fast-moving arrows by noon. Well, that's those gusty south winds returning again across the region. So please, again, no outdoor burning. I've been checking. No red flag warnings. There's nothing like that in place like what we had yesterday. But again, that doesn't mean that it's suddenly safe to burn under these conditions. It absolutely is not. Now, as we head later into the evening, we'll have a few clouds here and there, and that'll be the case as we go overnight as well. Just a few clouds here and there. And as we start our Saturday, again, if you've got parade plans in Carthage, just be aware it's going to be a little cool, upper 40s, maybe some low 50s to start the day. And then it'll warm back up, though. So that's going to be the case also for the majority of us as we start out in the 40s. But as we head into the afternoon, maybe a cloud or two. But otherwise, we're going to go back into the 70s, and we're going to look to be at or just a little above normal as we head into Saturday afternoon. By Sunday, though, another start in the 40s, low 50s. We're going to be even warmer on Sunday. Now, we won't be significantly above average, but you can see that we're looking 5-6 degrees above average for some of us out there as we get our Sunday underway. In terms of the winds, as we discussed, I don't know why it skipped the morning stop, but it did. But that same line that we drew the other day, if you're along this line, northwest of it, that's the better opportunity for winds gusting 30, 40 miles an hour, and southeast of that point, winds gusting 20 to 30 miles an hour. But the good news is, as we head into Saturday morning, these winds will calm back down and they'll be a little more manageable as we head through the weekend. 42 in Joplin right now. It does feel like 38 with a south breeze at about 7 miles an hour. And across the area, temperatures for the most part, low, mid, upper 40s, but we do have some upper 30s in our southern counties out there. So that's Cassville, Jay, Anderson, Grove, Miami. But again, the rest of us, low, mid, and upper 40s as we get our Friday started. Mid 40s by 8, clear skies. Winds will pick up again through the morning. We'll make the low 60s by 11 o'clock. Heading into the afternoon, again breezy but otherwise sunny, and eventually temperatures on the average low 70s, and that'll be close to normal for this time of year. But some of us may cap out in the upper 60s. Still, not all in all, not a bad day. Heading into the evening, initially clear skies, and we'll start to see a few clouds here and there, and that'll be the case overnight. So mostly clear skies. Another chilly one back into the upper 40s, and over the course of the next 10 days, again, we continue to warm. Upper 70s, mid-upper 70s Saturday, getting close to 80 by Sunday. Shower chances still showing up late Monday into early Tuesday. So it's not looking like a lot of rain, but at this point, it's some rain, and that'll be better than no rain. But once we get past Monday, take a look. Temperatures now going in that 10 to 12 degree above normal range as we see the return of the mid, maybe even some upper 80s in the second half of next week. And that's checking your forecast. We're going to send it over to Lise now with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, the number of children getting routine vaccinations is dropping as more parents are opting out. But that's also increasing the risk of preventable disease outbreaks. The CDC says this school year, as many as 7% of kindergartners aren't getting their recommended vaccines, an increase from 5% just 4 years ago. As a result, there's an increased danger of outbreaks of measles and whooping cough. Well, women who have social support are more likely to stay up to date on critical cancer screenings. A study by the American Cancer Society found that having emotional support from friends, family, or a spouse can have a big impact on whether or not women receive mammograms. Now, women who reported little or no support were 40% less likely to get regular mammograms. And so-called forever chemicals can be found in drinking water around the world. A study by the University of Birmingham found 10 PFAS chemicals in 99% of bottled water samples across 15 different countries. And while the study's authors say the levels of chemicals in most samples aren't a major health concern, continued monitoring is critical to public health. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, Pittsburgh businesses are showing their spooky side for Halloween.
And we've got a chilly start to the day. It will eventually warm up and it will be windy once again. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, students and staff at one Joplin school give a big shout out to their cafeteria workers.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:28. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Friday, October the 18th, and it's been a pretty good Friday so far this morning.
Fridays are always interesting here in the studio. If you could be with us during commercial breaks, I think you might be shocked.
You might be. You might be.
We have fun.
We got to unwind. You know, it's been a long weekend. I'm sure you folks at home got to do the same thing, right? I mean, you got to unwind a little bit, and it's nothing. There's nothing wrong with having a little fun.
No, there's certainly not.
Our job is to put the good into your morning, make your day better. We want to start you off on the right foot, not the wrong one. We don't want to be up here all miserable and dreary, like we hate each other, and then we hate people, and then that resonates with you guys.
No fun.
That wouldn't be fun at all. You'd be watching, be like, man, this is depressing. Now I'm depressed. We don't want to do that.
That's what Mondays are for.
I'm kidding. That's what Mondays do that all on their own. Let's get your Friday started off right, and you all will want a jacket this morning as it is a bit chilly. Live look, our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Clear skies looking good. Clear skies from our camera at 7th and Rangeline as well. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline. A few more folks out on the road getting this finally Friday underway, and same from the KDOT camera. 69 East 520th Avenue. And here come those folks getting their Friday commute underway. It is going to be windy again. It isn't really all that windy right now. We've had some light gusts here and there, but as we head into the morning and afternoon, south winds pick up again. So that poorly, crudely drawn line here. Northwest, we're talking 30, 40 mile an hour wind gusts again. And southeast, we're talking still 20, 30 mile an hour wind gusts. And at present, we don't have any red flag warnings out there, but that doesn't mean it's safe to burn. So again, please no outdoor burning. The only thing we're going to see it changes a little bit is we're going to get some clouds that might roll in later this evening. They'll still be mostly clear across the region, but we could have a stray cloud or two as we head into the evening and overnight hours. Sitting at 42 in Joplin right now, 43 in Pittsburgh. And across the area again, got some chillier temperatures in our southern counties. So we've got 30s, Miami, Grove, Jay, Anderson, and Cassville, but the rest of us are hanging out in the low, mid, and upper 40s as we get Friday going. So kids getting on the bus, that jacket again, probably necessary, clear skies, mid-40s, south breeze around 5 to 10. They can put the jacket in their backpack this afternoon, low 70s. Of course, breezy, but still clear skies. We'll be sunny through the majority of the day. Again, it won't be until later this evening that we'll start to see a few clouds here and there. Highs today for most of us, low 70s, so right about where we should be. Some of us may cap out in the upper 60s. Not that that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, though, these temperatures, as we mentioned before, are kind of a collector's item because it is going to get back above normal as we head through the weekend and into next week. Details on that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, some students in Joplin took time to build their futures yesterday. The Missouri Job Center Southwest region set up shop in the old Macy's space at the North Park Mall to host the Build My Future event. It's the largest trade and manufacturing expo in Southwest Missouri and a way to present possible career opportunities for some 8th grade through high school students.
Not every kid wants to go to college. Not every kid is ready to go into a specific medical or other type of field. So there's a lot of kids who want to do trade, and so this gives them that opportunity to learn more about it.
The event featured more than 50 vendors and more than 800 students registered. Well, Joplin's Soaring Heights Elementary School served up a special shout out yesterday in honor of National School Lunch Week. The school honored the women they call queens of the cafeteria. And yesterday, that lunch crew was dressed as pirates. Now, they're proud of the work they do feeding our kids every day.
School lunch is nutritious. I know there's probably some things out there, social media, that maybe give school lunch a bad rap, but we're constantly working to improve it, and it is a really affordable.
Well, today, the Soaring Heights Queens of the cafeteria will be serving up cheese bites with marinara sauce for the kiddos. A theme park in Southwest Missouri announces a major expansion. Yesterday, Silver Dollar City announced plans to invest $500 million over the next decade on the park's biggest expansion. Now, plans include new family adventures, including the development of 1,200 acres adjacent to the Ozark Mountain theme park. That's in addition to the debut of Silver Dollar City Resort, which will feature more than 200 guest rooms.
$500 million invested over the next 10 years is this company's belief in the state of Missouri and in the region called the Ozark Mountains.
Silver Dollar City Resort is scheduled to open in late 2026. The Coal Valley Pumpkin Company started in 2023 in Weir, Kansas. They specialize in growing a variety of specialty pumpkins. You can also take advantage of all the pumpkin varieties by booking a mini photo session. All proceeds go to help their daughter.
The example that it sets for our daughter Ava is really important to us as far as instilling a work ethic and also a love for the outdoors and a love for nature. We spend a lot of time out here, obviously, and we're very grateful that she loves it, and we hope to keep fostering that love.
The Coal Valley Pumpkin Company is open Saturdays from 10 to 4 and Sundays from 10 to 2. The city of Pittsburgh is getting a facelift, and it's probably not the kind of facelift you're thinking of. Young artists from all over the community got the chance to paint local businesses with their favorite Halloween artwork. KOAM's Lonnie Walton takes us to the streets to see how residents are reacting.
An old Pittsburgh, downtown Pittsburgh tradition that we've revived this year. It hasn't happened in 10 to 15 years. Someone reached out to the Downtown Advisory Board and said, hey, we really missed this.
Sarah Runyon from the city of Pittsburgh says this Halloween window painting was something the city just could not live without.
Great time of the year to do something fun for the kids, but also I think downtown and the Pittsburgh community in general, they were just kind of itching to see this tradition come back to life. So it's been a huge response.
A local business owner from the restaurant BAM says it's a time for the community to engage.
We have an exciting downtown. We have a lot of new shops. We have a lot of activity down here, particularly this weekend, of course. It's a homecoming weekend.
Not only are the pictures nice to look at, they also can brighten up your day.
I mean, I was having a pretty bad day, and me and my friends were driving by and just seeing like the little beats of artwork, it's very personal. It's very, people put their time into it.
Oh, I think it's nice. It gives you something to look at. We were out walking, so it's something to look at.
Very festive for Halloween and intermixed with the gorilla red and gold.
It's more than just a display, it's a competition. Judges will choose winners that will receive prizes. In the meantime, the people of the community are all winners, getting to enjoy a little holiday spirit on display. Reporting in Pittsburgh, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Now, the competition should be completed just in time for tomorrow's PSU homecoming parade. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. If it's Friday, you know what that means. We've got Shannon Becker live in studio to help us close out the week with his big 3 news stories. And we have a sunny and windy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Oswego, Kansas, ahead of the Oswego Fall Bazaar. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. How are you this morning, Shannon?
I'm well, and you?
Wonderful.
All right.
Thanks for asking.
Let's take a look at the big 3 stories this week, live and local. What's happening where you live? A story that unfolded. It was almost unbelievable, I'm sure, to everybody else. But that car right there, had a 3- and 4-year-old boy in it. Driver DWI. The father of these boys charged now. It's a felony DWI. Amazingly, it went off a county road, overturned countless times, threw the motor out of the front of the car about 20 feet further.
Unbelievable.
Had to pull it out of the creek, and no one was injured. Can you believe that? Everybody, of course, wearing their seatbelts.
That's a miracle.
Totally a miracle. Those boys were unhurt. Our KOAM News Now story is online right now. Number 2 story, a 10-year-old boy is killed in a collision with an SUV in Granby. This tragic story unfolded late this last week.
Yes.
The boy died at the scene. Coroner claimed the body. More details on our website. They just had the services for him, and they are raising money for the family.
Yes.
I mean, of course, a sudden need, obvious. Very tragic story in Granby. Our number 1 story, KOAM News Now, a fire in Rogers, Arkansas. You could see the smoke. People say, I could see it from South Joplin.
Oh,
I mean, we're talking, it's 50 miles away. Yeah, you could see this smoke.
There.
It's from a it's a recycling plant. So what it was fueling that fire were these big cardboard
Sure.
recycling bales. It's
Okay.
they're real thick, real dense.
Yes.
And you know, there's different paint and different stuff on those cardboard boxes. So really dense smoke. They're still there on the scene. Yesterday afternoon, they started breaking those bales apart and getting some more, not necessarily water, but kind of a foam onto it
Right.
to kind of stop that fire.
And monitoring the air quality
Yes,
as well, I'm
yes.
sure.
They say the air quality is normal, but there's still a lot of smoke that's coming around that exact area there in Northeast Rogers. And our bonus story of the week, here's one that'll make you smile, make you a little scared too, maybe. It's our drive-by light list. We started doing this during COVID because nobody could get around and do
Right.
things.
Yes, of
so
course.
you could drive around and see everything with the kids. So the list is out and it's growing a little bit. If you know of any places, you can message us. The old favorites are there, like we showed just Drake and Moore a while ago. Our friends Sheila and Brad Brown over there on Kent Street in north part of Joplin.
Incredible displays.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
This is one of our good friends, Colby and his wife. He's a Joplin firefighter. And they've continued to grow every year. They've got 2 boys, so it's easier, you know, when you got workers there like that. You can donate to St. Jude's also at one of the locations. It's on our website, KOAM News Now. It's our bonus story of the week in the Big 3.
Absolutely. Lots to look forward to with that light show. And Shannon, as always, thank you so much for being with us this morning, and thank you for all the work that you do.
Thank you.
Happy to have you. Stick around. We'll be right back.
All right, it is time for some Friday birthdays, and boy, have we got a list for you today, starting in McCune with Blaine Martin celebrating birthday number 4. Happy birthday, Blaine.
And a happy 5th birthday to Xavier Shaw.
And in Pittsburgh, Gabriel Spann celebrating birthday number 8. Happy birthday.
And also celebrating their 8th birthday, a big happy birthday to Mason Alexander.
And we've got Anthony Stowell celebrating birthday number 11. Says happy birthday with love from Mom, Addison, Auntie Amy, Nana, and Papa.
And over in Pittsburgh, Cohen Don is celebrating birthday number 11. It says here, love you bunches, your family. Happy birthday.
And also in Pittsburgh, Madeline Bishop celebrating birthday number 21. And it says here, happy birthday from Mom, Dad, your brothers, Arby's, and Chi-Chi.
And over in Carthage, a happy 22nd birthday to Gracie Baugh.
And in Pittsburgh, Andrew Lance celebrating birthday number 39. Happy birthday, Andrew.
And a happy 43rd birthday to Kelly Harris.
And we've got Sarah Dreisbach celebrating birthday number 55. Happy birthday.
And a happy birthday in Columbus to Chris Warden.
And we've got Kurt Zahm in Baxter Springs celebrating another year wiser. Says happy birthday to our associate pastor from Center Christian Church.
And happy birthday to Missy Prophet in Columbus.
And we've got our very own AJ Kohler celebrating another year wiser. He's one of our videographers that brings the pictures that you see here on KOAM News to all of you. So a very happy birthday to you, AJ.
Yes, and continuing our birthday list, over in Riverton, a happy 69th birthday to Judy Adams.
And in Joplin, Cindy Ellis celebrating another year wiser. Now, I know it's Friday, so I know some of these birthdays are heading into the weekend, but we could have every birthday like this 5 days a week. That would be amazing. We could make an entire show for birthdays and anniversaries. And in order for that to happen, we need your help.
Yes, we do. You can go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays at KOAMNewsNow.com. Sure to include those wonderful photos and messages, and to, of course, meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen.
Very essential to meet that deadline. Of course, also tell us when the birthday is, because if you don't, we don't know what day it's supposed to be on. We'll just run it the next day, and if it's like 3 days later, that doesn't work out. You got to tell us. We got to know. We're not mind readers yet. Something we're working on. And something else. What? She's throwing hands over here. I see something's about to go down. All right, our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Take a look at that shot, though. We're just starting the sunrise. The colors look absolutely gorgeous out there. And we're going to head over to our camera at 7th and Rangeline. I have found that we can point these cameras toward the sunrise a little earlier than I thought we could. I've been doing this, almost 2.5 years now doing the weather on the morning show, and I finally realized that they actually see these sunrises pretty decently early, and they look great out there. MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line. We got a few more people, of course, lining up down here as they get their Friday commute underway. Same from the KDOT camera, 69 and Kansas Crossing. A few cars out there again, starting that Friday commute, last commute of the week for most folks. And the KDOT camera just north of that one at East 520th Avenue, looking good as well. Let's talk about some things that are going to be going on. First off today, it's going to be breezy again, and in roughly the same zones with that split of where it's going to be windier than everyone else. And we'll talk about the winds here in just a moment. Our temperatures today, most of us right about average. Some of us may be a little cooler, only into the upper 60s, but otherwise a gorgeous day. Later in the evening and into the overnight, could have a few stray clouds here and there, but otherwise clear skies. Temperatures tomorrow, again, Maple Leaf Parade tomorrow morning, or anything that you're doing anywhere really. We're going to be talking about starting the day right around the mid-upper 40s out there, so it's going to be a bit on the chilly side. But as we head into Saturday afternoon, the chilliness does not last. We're going to warm up, and then by tomorrow afternoon, we start to see temperatures a little above normal. Thankfully, it's not significantly above normal, but it will start to warm up, which means a slightly milder night, Sunday night into Monday. I'm sorry, Saturday into Sunday. Skipping a day here. And then as we head into Sunday, though, that's when we start to see temperatures climbing more above normal. Now, again, off to the east, it's a little cooler, Monette, Cassville, but you head the further west you get, the warmer it is. You can see these upper 70s in Coffeyville, Miami, and Bartlesville. Then we have the wind situation, and like it was yesterday, in that zone right through here, if you're northwest, gusts could be 30 to 40 miles an hour out of the south, and if you're southeast of that line, could be upwards of 20 to 30. But the good news is, as we go later into the evening and overnight, winds actually calm down, and they'll be relatively calm for us on our Saturday. Quick look at temperatures. We're going to start in Joplin, where it is 42. Feels like 38, though. The southeast breeze at 7. Again, it is a bit on the cool side for sure. And across the area, temperatures, we got cooler temperatures in our southern counties. So Miami, Grove, Jay, Anderson, and Cassville sitting into the upper 30s. The rest of us, though, low, mid, and even some upper 40s out there. Say Parsons and Neodesha, both sitting at 47. As we get this morning underway, it will be sunny. It will be clear like it is right now. It will be cool to start, mid 40s out there, low 60s by 11. And of course, as the morning progresses, the winds will begin to increase as well across the region. So again, no outdoor burning. We don't have any red flag warnings in place today. But again, that does not mean it is safe to burn. Still, you need to hold off for a few more days out there. All right, we're going to talk about some rain chances that are looking to show up next week. And we're also going to share with you the news you need to know. But when we switch over to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we'll see how cancer survivors are given an opportunity to ride high as a group of kiteboards come together to give them a free ride.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Police arrest a juvenile suspected of a hoax terroristic threat in Neosho, Missouri. Detectives learned that 2 boys had taken a photo of BB guns that was later edited and posted on social media by a 12-year-old girl. Police say the photo indicated that a school shooting was to take place Wednesday. Detectives determined that it was a hoax and no real threat existed. Well, some Oklahomans are suing to prevent mandating Bibles in schools. More than 30 Oklahomans have been named as plaintiffs in a lawsuit against the Oklahoma superintendent regarding his order to have the Bible as required material in every Oklahoma public school classroom. The plaintiffs are seeking a judgment stating that the Bible education mandate is invalid and unenforceable. Well, Silver Dollar City announces a major expansion for late 2026. The plans include new family adventures, including the development of 1,200 acres adjacent to the Ozark Mountain theme park. That's in addition to the debut of Silver Dollar City Resort, which will feature more than 200 guest rooms. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door today, it's again going to be a bit on the chilly side, but we will warm up a little closer to normal. Most of us low 70s and breezy again. South winds out there gusting 20 to 30 miles an hour. Of course, our northwestern counties, those winds could gust 30 to 40 miles an hour. So no outdoor burning today, please. Clear skies into the evening initially. Few clouds later this evening and overnight. We'll fall back into the upper 40s as we head into our Saturday. A chilly start out there, but eventually a little above normal. Upper 70s, mid-upper 70s. Upper 70s again on Sunday. Rain chances Monday night into Tuesday morning. They are slight, but at least they are there. And we're going to see temperatures next week really taking off as we head back into the low, mid, possibly even upper 80s by the second half of next week. So unfortunately, this fall-like weather will come to a close.
Wow, up close to upper 80s in like the back half of October.
It's one thing to have a warm stretch in the beginning of the month, but to have it again,
right.
It's just crazy.
Interesting. All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making guilt-free apple lovers coffee cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
As your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Coming up next, it's a very special Kindness 101. Steve Hartman and his kids take a road trip to visit with students who are putting their lessons to good use.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, a popular Branson tourist attraction announces big plans for expansion to 2026.
And Shannon Becker back in the studio. This big 3 news stories of the week.
Yes.
Oh boy, Friday. We made it. Here we are.
Yes, we did.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a good Friday. Thank you for spending your time with us on this Friday. I hope you enjoyed all the Taylor Swift references. And we'll have to come up with something different for next Friday. And until then, we'll be back here Monday morning at 5.
And we'll see you today at noon.